pumpkin spice.
Oh my god, I've got pumpkin spice overload.
Oh, face it, you're all addicts. Yeah.
So yummy. I've got 5 winners. 5 winners in my product page.
That's how we roll.
That's how you roll. That's how you do a product page. You gotta have contests.
Who doesn't like free protein?
Jeez.
Who doesn't like free everything?
Be givers, be givers. Massive, massive givers. Jill taught us that. You gotta give. You gotta give to get. Happy Sunday. What's up, Seattle's in the house?
Hey guys.
Yeah.
Paul flex for us.
I tell him to do that for you all day.
Maybe not. Pumpkin spice, best flavor.
Yes, it really is. It tastes like a pumpkin spice with whipped cream. It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, pumpkin pie.
What did I say?
Pumpkin spice.
Oh, sorry. Pumpkin pie with whipped cream. Okay, music off. Let's go.
Okay. Guys, super pumped about today. Reason being is we have just concluded week 1 of our 90-day game plan. So in our company, our weeks go from Monday to Sunday. So we are wrapping it up today. Now this is the big push day. This is the one where we clean up all of our messes. We regroup, we refocus, we refresh, and we reset for a new week.
So before Paul scares everybody.
Oh, I'm good at that.
My name is Lynette.
And my name is Paul.
And we are on episode 70.
70 episodes.
These Periscope trainings.
That's crayfish.
It really is. We've got quite a few followers, so that's the power of network marketing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But regardless of whether you own your own traditional business or franchise or network marketing business, we want nothing more than to add value to your life. We've got amazing tips for you today. I don't know if they're really tips, but it is kind of like a self-assessment to make sure everybody's on the right track. We're in the middle of a 90-day game plan. So if you have your 90-day game plan book, and whether you're in my company or not makes no difference, you can still utilize the tips that we're going to be giving you today.
Yeah, and kind of build your own if you don't have one, or use whatever your company provides. So.
Or maybe you're already in a 90-day game plan within your company, and you can just do some other self-assessments to make sure that you're on the right track, and to make sure that your team is on the right track.
Exactly.
So let's kind of just recap. Yesterday we went into what's called the ebb and flow of your business, and it's really important because we know that in this 90-day game plan, you're in the trenches. You're constantly doing all of this massive action, right? Massive action. With you. But then you've got to take a deep breath, come up for an aerial view to make sure that your business is on track. And we want to make sure that you understand the ebb and flow of a business throughout the year. So there's certain times during the year when you've got to crank it out, like during the slow summer months. And there's times during the year when you need to 10x it.
This is the time to 10x it, guys. We're in the busy season, the busiest season of the year, not only for our industry, but also for the particular niche of that industry, so health and wellness for us. So as a global market, this is the busiest season for that industry as well.
Yeah, so there's no slowing down right now. So we really, really appreciate you being with us today on a Sunday of all days. I know it's a day of rest and for meditation and prayer and church and all the wonderful things. Yes, we got to rest.
Rest.
Today. I rest on Sundays. I don't know about y'all.
Guys, we're in the grind of our life. We can create something.
He is forever. I swear to God. You see what I got to live with?
See, this is the problem. This is the problem with me. Fun for me is work. Fun for me is discipline. Fun for me is structure.
I'm in there making a shake. He's like, well, I'm grinding out the business. I'm like, I'm making a shake right now.
It's whatevs.
Okay.
I'll bring some of my yellow out here, so let's have a good time.
Okay, so we do want to make sure that everybody is, again, today is Sunday, close of business day for our company, and we need you to turn to page 62 just to make sure that you are hitting, see, there's little tallies,
Guys, remember we started the week out with page 62?
Ooh, so, how many of y'all looked at 62 during this week?
I mean, did anyone check it out, at all, for the whole week? Hopefully, there's a few people that have, but a lot of people, what happens is, you get the game plan, you throw it on the table or in the closet, and you never look at it till ever again, unless we remind you today. So But that's okay. We're not here to beat anybody up. We're just here to...
I already did that. I already beat myself up this week. I didn't get off the crazy train.
We're throwing in a new rule today. Don't beat yourself up. When we go over this stuff on a weekly basis, we want to look at it in a way that is productive for us, and a way that we can utilize what we learned throughout the week as a way to launch an even more effective week. Okay. So with that in mind, we started the week off last Monday with page 62, giving us a good guidebook, a roadmap,
okay.
guideline, whatever, a roadmap to follow this week. So in our company, it was all about how many people did we add to the product page, how many people were we following up with, how many people did we promote certain aspects of our company's promotions, the contests and different things like that. And not only do we want to look at this particular page in the 90-day game plan as what we have done, but we should also now start setting goals for the week, put the goal column, and then at the end of the week, the actual total. So it'll give you a good idea of where you're maybe on track, where you're off track, and where we need to tighten up, and where we can 10x some stuff.
So in week 1, remember we talked about, if you don't have your game plan, I'll kind of walk you through it. The first two bullet points asked, how many calls did you make, and how many people did you share your company with? In our case, it's Isogenics. Again, Paul and I teach New Business 2.0, which allows you to build your business much more efficiently and faster. So instead of making the calls, how many people have you been adding into your product page? How many people have you shared Isogenics or whatever company that you represent in your product page? So all of these are amazing self-assessment checks to make sure, did I do these things throughout week 1? And if I didn't, then when I go to week 2, then I can make sure that I go back and go, well, I didn't add that many people into my product page. This week, in week 2, I'm going to concentrate on that. If you scroll down, it says, how many people did you teach you plus 2, them plus 2 in week 1? How many have you? If you haven't, then that's something that you need to focus on in week 2. So these are things that we want to make sure that you're doing, because these are what's called action steps. This is income producing activities or income driving activities. And you guys can sit behind Periscope and on Facebook and look at motivational quotes all day, but it's not going to make you any money. So we've got to do the action steps. And how amazing is it that our company gave us this little tally to make sure that we're doing these action steps. Now, in my case, in week 1, I did not hold a launch party, but someone in my team, my personally enrolled, did. So she was checking in with Paul and I, seeing how she did. She signed somebody up on what's called a President's Pack. She did amazing.
Rocked it.
Right? Another thing is, you guys know about in our company about the new Health and Body and Mind program. How many times did you talk about that in your product page? How many times did you talk about the ISA Body Challenge in your product page? These are all things that you need to be doing inside the product page. These are action steps that you can take, as well as making a phone call if that's more comfortable for you, or private messaging someone about these things. So again, action steps. Have you done it in week 1? And if you haven't, then in week 2, then you can go, you know what? That's something that I need to concentrate on, right?
Now, I just want to go over one thing real quick. So when we're talking about self-assessments, we're also talking about feedback. And a lot of people think feedback is something that somebody tells you. Now, that is true. That is the case. But also, aren't results feedback as well, or lack thereof? I mean, what you create or what you don't create is also feedback in whether your actions or lack of actions are something you want to replicate, something you want to repeat. So a few things about that. Number 1, don't beat yourself up, and don't use this as an excuse to quit. We're in the 90-day game plan 1 week. There's no reason to quit. There's not even enough time to justify that.
And I want to interject real quick, because some of you will take literally 12 steps back. If you've been coaching someone about the products, you've been with them, and you're talking to them about your company and about your products, and then that person enrolls with somebody else, or
Ooh.
that person enrolls in a different company.
We've seen that before.
It's happened to us. Yes, it's happened to us. It happens to all leaders. But when something like that happens, you need to do a real quick self-assessment check and go, wait a minute, did this hold me back 12 steps? Did it hold me back for an entire 2 months where I didn't even move, where it kept me paralyzed? These are the self-assessment checks you got to constantly be asking yourself. And since today is Sunday, when we're almost in the close of business day, it's really important now that you're looking inside your back office. Did you produce or did you not produce?
Yes.
And Paul kind of go into what he's looking for in the back office, which will tell him if our business is flourishing or if it's dying. Does that make sense?
I'm sure there's the same type of things you can look at in your company. If you're not part of our company, that would be equivalent. So just translate that into whatever you need to look at. But there's things that when you look at them, you can tell a lot about what's happening as a whole and what's happening in things that you can control.
Now, I want to make sure that whether you're brand new in the business and you only have 2 people, or you're in the business for a while and you've got 20,000, it really makes no difference. The earlier that you start, Jill told us from the very beginning, to really start looking at the back office and understand what's happening in the back office. And I know many of you, especially women, I'm guilty. We always say, I'm not a numbers girl. I don't want to go back in the back office and look back there. I don't know what's happening back there. Well, this is the time to really understand your business. You are the CEO of your own company, so please go back there. Go into the back office and start playing around. Look what's happening inside your organization. It's very important that you understand this now, okay?
Yeah, and the more things the more familiar you are with the dynamic of the back office, the more comfortable you'll be, the more patterns you'll be able to see, the more comfortable you'll be able to be in there, and then the patterns will come out at you, and you'll start to see things that maybe you didn't know were there in the first place.
And I know some of you are only looking at your cycles. Stop doing that. Your business is so much more. I know we have what's called the Isopulse, and the first thing you do is get on Isopulse and look, how many cycles do I have? It's so much more than just the cycles.
Guys, that's a really cool app, and everyone should have it for sure. But there's so many more things to a thriving, flourishing business than just your own personal cycles.
Okay.
We obviously know that the money that we're all trying to make some sort of income, because
a residual income.
That's where it starts. In building our wealth here, but there's more to that than just you making it. There's a whole team of people. So just real quick, I'm going to go over a few things that I tend to check on a daily basis, and I have my own separate little notebook for these numbers. I actually write them down. A lot of people put them in like an Excel spreadsheet. I have no idea how to do an Excel spreadsheet. I will, I probably lose my mind. But what I can do is I can write it down. It's very easy for me, and I have it all structured out in this way in different columns and stuff. Super easy to flip to the page, write it down in the morning, give it another check at night, and I'm off and running. So, but it gives us a framework on where to spend our energy most effectively to not only help ourselves but help the team. How can we help the team do better? Because if the team does better, then we automatically do better. Like it goes that way. There's no way around it. So a couple things that I like to look at. Numbers to watch. Every day, I always look at how many people are jumping on board with us. New enrollments, where they're coming from. Are they in our left leg or are they in the right leg? And where, kind of what are they starting with? Okay, because I want to have a good idea on, who are these people being enrolled by. Obviously these are potential builders that we can connect with and help them expand their vision. Also, the numbers tell us where we need to increase our efforts or increase our energy and pour into more people in certain aspects. So that's number one. Number two. So
what he's looking at how many people are in his right leg, how many people are in the left leg, right? Mm-hmm. So Paul and I always set intentions. We've been doing this for the past, 8 months now. Maybe. And I have my calendar. How many people I want in my organization for that month. And then the next month I write my new number. So each time it's increasing. And I tell you what, my team is actually being built faster. It's growing faster than what I set my intentions. So that's something else that you can do when you're writing your goals, is to have your calendar and say, you know what, I want, for instance, 100 people in my organization by the end of September. Or I want 200 members by the end of October. So you're setting your intentions of watching your team grow, watching your organization grow each month. So
that's an important one, not only because we're just looking for numbers, but it tells us, okay, where is the building actions coming from, and where is there a lack of building, which means that we need to kind of pick up the slack and either help people or pour more of our own efforts into that particular those particular business centers. So it gives us an idea on where to spend our energy. The other thing is, or the next thing I like to look at are this is part of it. So don't not pay attention to it, but cycles. Okay, cycles are important. I look at them daily and I look at them weekly, and I look at averages over the month, and I look at averages over the previous month of the same week. So this is the first week of this month. I look at the first week of last month and compare the two. Now the reason is because we have an auto ship program, and auto ships are preset, volume driven revenue that comes into our business every week. Now, should there be a difference in the way that these things don't pan out from month to month, we need to find out where that difference is. So in week 1 of this month, is it better than week 1 of last month? These are the numbers that I'm looking at. I want to increase every month, not only for ourselves, but also for our team, okay? So those cycles tell you a story, and the story is your residual base growing? And if it's growing for your team, it'll be growing for you. How can you promote auto ship? How can you promote adding those sticky products in your product page?
In the product page,
to
to
bump up your auto ship effectiveness. How can you get people to understand that now that we have these custom packs, that leaders should be on the custom packs with the coaching bonuses involved? I mean, are we aware of this? I mean, this is something that we need to keep in mind. I know a lot of people think this is boring stuff, but this is how you're going to make a fortune. So you are a business owner. You're going to have to track these numbers at least to a degree. Now, maybe I'm a little more intense than others, but that's okay. It just depends on the kind of person that you are.
But I don't want the women, especially the women, you kind of like hold back and go, I don't want to go back in the back office. It's intimidating. And I don't want it to be intimidating for you. This is your business, and you're not going to accidentally make 6 figures. You're not going to accidentally make 7 figures. I promise you. The Tracy O'Malley's, the Tanyas, and the Jill Bowmans, these women are powerful, successful, driven women, but they understand their business. They understand the patterns of their business, and you're going to have to learn to do that. Yes. So each day, I really want you to get comfortable. Go into your back office and just click on things. Really look what's going on in your back office, and you can get together with your enrolling sponsor and your other leaders and get their opinion about what do I need to look at, where do I need to go, and what do I need to click on back here. So please get familiar with your back office. It is super important, and I want that to be one of your intentions over the next 90 days, is to really get comfortable with your back office.
Yes.
Okay?
2 more things that I look at. One of there's other things, but 2 more very important things are your back office blueprints. The one that I look at a lot is the blueprint by category. If you're obviously not part of our company, hopefully you have something that is equivalent. But this tracks people who are potential consultants, potential managers, who are the next generation of leaders that are on their way to director and executive, who it keeps track of your own personally enrolled cycles, how that plays out not only in your income but in what they're trying to achieve for themselves. Also, it gives you that auto ship weekly total for the week that you're in, and then the next week, so you can plan accordingly.
Now, someone just mentioned they don't understand the custom packs. Now, you are the CEO of your own business, and remember, the rules of the game is you're 100% responsible for your business, for the things that you do in the business. So that would be the first thing that I would do as soon as you get off Periscope, is to do a search on the new custom packs for Isogenics. and understand what it means. Understand the vouchers. Understand that there is now a difference between the energy pack and the performance pack. You need to understand these things. Again, you're not going to accidentally make this kind of money in this business unless you understand how the business works. So empower yourself and understand that, okay?
You don't have to know it all today. You just got to learn one new thing.
Yeah.
Learn one new thing about your custom pack options, or whatever you have available. That's a good way to start. Over the next week, you'll learn 7 new things about the custom pack options, how that works, how it fits in your business, and how you can maximize it.
And in addition, if you're following the 90-day game plan, week 1 actually says for you to share the Isagenix lifestyle solutions. In our company, we have, 5 new solutions now. So now we have what's called the weight loss solution, the energy solution, performance, healthy aging, and wealth creation. If we're supposed to be sharing each of these solutions during week 1, did you do that in the product page? Did you do that? Because if you don't understand the new custom packs, well, I know that you didn't do this in week 1, did you? So that was something that you got to do, the little quick self-assessment check and go, okay, I didn't do that this week. That's something that I've got to bump up in week 2. So please use the 90-day game plan. This is the most phenomenal game plan book that you can follow to make sure you're taking those action steps inside the product page and out and about when you're prospecting, okay? So it's really important.
And then one of the most important numbers that we like to keep track of is our personally enrolled cycles. We want them to get paid.
Yep,
guys, we want our people to get paid. So it's up to us to keep track of it. I mean, maybe their commitments or their schedules or whatever they're going through doesn't always allow them the opportunity to keep track of this stuff. So we'll just take it on ourselves because this is our business.
Sharing and getting them to get on board. I struggle with this. Well, Paul and I are on episode 70. I'm not sure how many episodes that you've seen, but we've talked about that. So
yeah, there's so much we're going to cover. This is we've been trying to give this a 90-day go at it. We're on episode 70. We've got 20 more to go. If you guys haven't followed us since day 1, that's okay. We're going to probably repeat a lot of the same basic stuff because there's not too much to this business. It's really just a lot of the same basics. Now, we do layer the training. We try to make sure that you guys are getting the deepest understanding of each basic, but it's fairly simple. So with that in mind, moving on, there's a quote that I like, and this is plays a part in what we're talking about today. And it has to do with looking at the week today, looking at the next week today, and closing out this week on a strong foot, because this is the last day of the business week. And it's by John Maxwell, and the quote goes, "You'll never change your life until you change something you do daily. The secret of your success is found in your daily routine." So I'm going to put out a challenge to you guys. How can you create or add into your day a new routine of sticking to your business goals? How can you create more of a routine than you did last week in sticking to the next steps page that we're going over? Is there a way, when you're looking at the things that you've done or you haven't done, is there a way that you can build into your day more of a routine, habit-forming ritual that will create better results for you this week? So, keeping that as something, there's ways to do this. It's not up to us to create it. You guys are obviously 100% responsible for your week. So, looking for the pockets, looking for the 50-minute blocks, looking for the ways to build your business much more effectively, that's going to be up to you. So, just to
repeat the quote. Somebody wanted to repeat the quote.
It's by John Maxwell. You can even find it on Google, but it says, "You'll never change your life until you change something you do daily. The secret of your success is found in your daily routine." That's it. When Lynette and I took the approach that, this business is no different than our health and fitness journey, then we're going to have to apply the same principles. So every day, at the same time, we would go to the gym. Every day, I would have my meals scheduled. around my work or around whatever I was doing at that time. Every day, I knew I needed to get to bed at a certain time, wake up at a certain time. Every day, there were these health habit forming rituals that I built into my day. So once we translated that into what does it mean to do that with the business, things were a little bit rocky. But as soon as we switched that over where we can kind of create this as a routine in our daily habits, then things started to flow even better. So guys, what we're trying to do today is we're trying to get you guys to reassess what did you do this last week? What can you tighten up here at the end of the business week today? Because the business week is not over. Get your people paid. Look at their cycles. How can you help them stimulate business? How can you help people stimulate more auto ship orders?
There's several people in our back office that was literally only 40 BV away from cycling. These are the things that you need to go into the back office and look. You need to look to see and just go, look, you're only 40 BV away from cycling. You need to, whatever it is, you need to reach out to them to let them know what's happening so you can get them paid.
They might not know. So, keeping in mind that is our responsibility to look at our business as a whole and making sure that our people are getting paid.
Somebody's saying, I'm so stuck. What are you stuck on? What are you stuck on? You stuck with not what they're stuck on. So going into week 2, if you look at week 2, we need to be talking about dreams. What is your dream, your ultimate dream, if time and money wasn't an object or wasn't a factor? I don't know if any of you have vision boards or if you have ever made a vision board. You may want to dust that thing off and bring it back out. Vision boards work, and some of them don't work. And we're going to be talking about really quickly about why some of them don't work. If you've ever had a vision board and some of the things aren't coming to fruition, what do you need to tighten up on? What do you need to know to make these vision boards come alive? And one of the things that I want to emphasize is that Paul and I talk about not having emotion within the business, but have emotion tagged into your daily goals and your affirmations. And this is part of it. When you're making a vision board, I want you to have feelings attached to your vision board, because if you're just tagging things and cutting things out in a magazine and you're having fun putting things on a vision board, that's great. But they won't come alive and they won't come to fruition unless you really take the time to add feelings and emotion to your goals, to your vision. If you haven't read this book, Dr. Wayne Dyer really talks about mastering the art of manifesting. And adding feelings and emotion to your desires is what really makes things come alive. And I really don't like using vision boards because I prefer calling them action boards. And I think Lisa also calls them action boards. Because your vision boards won't come alive unless you actually are taking action. You're taking these action steps within the 90 days. The 90-day game plan lays everything out. Paul and I talk about the rule of 5. We talk about the 2-week turnaround. If you are not doing these physical action steps daily, your business won't thrive, your business won't grow, and your vision board will then become dust. Nothing will come to fruition.
So guys, what can we do to create a dynamic, thriving week? Okay, so let's look at week number 2. Write down your goals in each of these categories. And then keep track of what you're actually doing. Now, the whole point is to hold yourself accountable to reach that goal. So if your goal is to add 1 person to the product page each day, well, then you'll have a total of 7 people in your goals column. And then what you're actually doing is you'll just make a tick mark every time you do, okay? So that you know where you're at. Because the more that we can measure, the more that we can keep track of, the better we'll do in the long term. We're going in week 2 of the 90-day game plan. We want to step it up again. We want to 10x our efforts even more. We thought we gave enough. We thought we were giving all that we could this week. And hopefully that was the case. But what if we could do better?
Where do we need to refine? Because we're always self-assessing what we're doing each week, each day. What did you not do last week that you can improve in and improve on in week 2. You know, for me personally, I didn't add enough people into my product page. Now my team did amazing, so I was in there supporting them along the journey, but I need to do a self-assessment check for myself and go, week 2, okay, how many 4Fs can I do this week? Can I bump up my branding? Can I add more people on Facebook? I need to be adding and refreshing my friends list all the time on Facebook. The friends that I have right now, many of them are in my company, but I need to also have non-business friends too, so I'm going to start increasing that as well. But I need to get more fresh people who's never seen my business into my product page. So that's something that I'm going to be concentrating on in week 2. You know, Paul did amazing this week in doing a many 3-way calls this week. You need to do self-assessment check. How many 3-way calls did I do this week, or how many 3-way chats did I put my team on? So again, what are you doing? What action steps are you doing? You know, which action steps are you not doing? So that's what you need to be reassessing and refining and retuning and making sure that you're doing that in the next week. Is it okay to unfollow with ISA peeps so you get new peeps in your feed? Well, that's what Paul and I talk about. We talk about manipulating the Facebook algorithm. You don't want to unfriend anybody.
You mean when you say product page? Well,
here we go.
I think you when people ask us what do we mean when we say product page, I'm assuming that you probably are fairly new to watching us on Periscope.
Or you're doing old school business techniques.
Yeah. So the whole idea, and we'll go over this over the next 20 episodes because it is the secret sauce.
Okay, so Rebecca, let me ask you something real quick, because she says she's stuck in getting her associates moving.
Okay.
And I want to ask you an honest question, Rebecca. Do you post in your product page? Do you inspire in your product page? Are you coaching in your product page? Are you motivating in your product page?
On a daily basis.
On a daily basis. What is a 3-way? Well, we've got a lot of new guys on. A 3-way is a 3-way call or a 3-way chat. So Rebecca says okay, so that means yes? Or does that mean okay, no? So that's just another self-assessment check that you've got to ask yourself. Because if your team is not growing, it is because you're not posting, you're not inspiring, you're not educating in the product page. Again, your product page is your storefront. This is where you need to be, okay for the products. I'm not sure what that means for the products.
Okay, so what happens if you don't have a team? Well,
Paul and I didn't have a team last year.
Nobody starts out with a team, so that's the good news. And people have several tens of thousands or even over 100,000 people on their team now, and they started just like you and me. We don't come into this business with 10,000 people right behind us, ready to go, because nobody cares.
Yes, Nicole 7, educate anyone, even if it's just you. Absolutely. At the very beginning, 4 years ago, it was just Jill and Betsy. They were just like educating each other. And then eventually the product page evolved, and now we have over 33,000 people in our product page. But when Paul and I when we first got into the product page, we didn't have a team either, so I began educating and inspiring and motivating everyone in there as if they were already on my team.
Yeah, because you're going to have to get in the habit of doing that anyway. Mm-hmm. And you don't know, you will be in a position eventually where you don't know who's on your team. People that you bring in will bring in people who bring in people who bring in people, and you don't know who or where they're coming from. So just assume everybody's on your team and start that right off the bat and get in the habit of doing that, because that's the whole basis of keeping that energy going and showing that you're a leader and showing that this is your product page, you take responsibility for it and you care for it.
All right, hold on. Let's help this lady out here. I think somebody said 2 years and no team.
Okay.
So you're doing old school business technique, so we want to encourage you to keep watching Paul and I. We're going to be teaching you new business. We call it 2.0 business methods. It's implementing and using social media to your advantage so you can have the most profitable, expansive business you possibly can. Because if you're not building a business on the internet using Facebook, you're going to have a really hard time.
So guys,
you're going to have a really hard time. So just stay with us. We're going to help you through. We have about 20 more episodes. We're going to help you. The first thing that I want, if you've never seen Paul and I, you're stuck in your business or your team is stuck in the business, is the first thing you need to learn is the 2-week turnaround. We'll go into the 2-week turnaround beginning tomorrow. Tomorrow is Monday. And you also need to be implementing the rule of 5. Those 2 steps will take your business to a whole nother level. And then Paul and I also implement other specific notches on the key. Remember, Paul and I have what's called a success key. There's specific notches in the key that we tell you to refine your business so it's even more efficient, even more smoother. But if you're just trying to wing it and throwing mud up against the wall and you've been in the business for 2 years and you have no team, it's time to reassess and do everything all over. We're going to help you with that, so stay with us, okay?
Yeah, so that's just a signal, or rather a message that whatever you're doing is not working. So if you've been in for 2 years and you don't have a team, that doesn't mean that you can't do this. It doesn't mean that this business doesn't work. It doesn't even mean that it doesn't work for you. It just means that we need to do different things more consistently, or do different things, period, than we've done before.
So is the product page, team page, personal page? Okay, we've gone over that before, so we'll go over it really quickly because today we just wanted today's episode to be light. It is Sunday, and we wanted you guys just to be in the mindset of reassessing everything that you've done in week 1. So as you close out the business day for today, you can go into week 2 much stronger. So we don't have a whole lot of stuff to cover today. But please, I want you to go back into your 90-day game plan and use that almost like a Bible. I don't like comparing it to a Bible. I would never do that. But you know what I mean. I really want you to look at the 90-day game plan and use it to your advantage to catapult your business over the next 90 days. Paul and I build this business fast. Jill Bowman builds this business fast. So we're talking a little bit slower today, but it's because I want you to do some self-assessment checks. I want you to start getting your ultimate dream down, get the vision. I know I don't have a vision board, like a physical vision board, but I do have a Pinterest board. I love Pinterest, and I don't spend a whole lot of time on there, but I've got my visions of things that I want, or there's specific photos that I love taking that I'll save on my phone, and I take a moment, and I really put feelings into what I want. And it's almost like it's embedded in my brain as if that's what I'm going to get by Halloween, or that's what I want by the end of the year, or this is where I want to be by next year. So, Paul and I even have reminders on our phone every 3 hours?
Every 3 hours.
4 hours.
Yeah.
An alarm goes off, literally off my phone, to remind me of my goal. Every 4 hours it goes off. Because you can't just think about your goal one time throughout the day and expect to reach your goal. It's going to be embedded in your mind, so I get a reminder every 4 hours. And the vision board will catapult where you want to go. So week 2 of the 90-day game plan is think about your most ultimate dream. But I don't want you to forget about week 1. I want you to go back and go, did I do these action steps in week 1? And if I didn't, then I need to go do them in week 2. Now, somebody asked about the product page. The product page is the secret sauce of how you will build a massive organization on the internet. The product page is a private product page. It is separate than a business page. Some of you call it a team page. Paul and I don't call it a team page. We're calling it a product page for a reason. It is a product page because you're teaching and educating and motivating people that are in there about the products. There are prospects in there. There are customers in there, and of course there are team builders, and we're all helping one another. The business page is a private business page regarding your team and those that want to build a massive organization and want to build a business. Customers don't want to be in there, prospects don't want to be in there just yet, but if someone shows you that they have interest in wanting to build a business and wanting to earn extra income, then that's where you want to put them in the business page. And then of course you have your own public, personal Facebook page. Okay, so we'll keep this. Yes, product page is a must. It is a must. Isa Mom knows what's up.
So guys, the whole point of today's episode is to get us thinking about self-assessment.
Yes, it's called a group. It's a private group, secret group. It is not a community public page. That's not what this is. You need to be able to add people into the group. Okay?
So regroup, refocus, find out where we slacked off this last week. Let's tighten up and 10x this next week. Again, we need to set the intentions for the week. We're focusing about what are our goals, what are our dreams, what are we looking for, and let's start focusing more on that and putting the work in based around those thought processes. Guys, you'll have so much more energy behind what you do if you're focusing on your core values.
So please don't forget in week 2 is how many people are you going to be adding inside your product page? How many people are you I mean, how many times are you posting so you can share the Isagenix product or whatever company that you represent? How many times are you teaching inside the product page? Did you do three-way calls? Three-way chats are amazing. If you're not doing three-way chats, I highly recommend them, and then add a video portion to your three-way chat. Your business will explode. Okay, it's so much more faster than getting someone on a three-way call and trying to find out everybody's time and when everybody can get together. Just put somebody in a three-way chat, and then you can move into the three-way call. So much more effective, and utilize the video option on your smartphone so you can do a quick video and introduce yourself to the third party. Easy. Do you have any launch parties planned? Does your team have any launch parties planned for the week? Teach U+2, them +2. And my favorite is you can make sure your team understands how to do U+2, them +2. And if you have your own business page, then record yourself doing a U+2, them +2, and post it in your business page. Let your upline, let your sponsors know that, hey, I know how to do it. Record yourself doing a U+2, them +2, or have your team come over to the house and start drawing it out. But you need to be practicing. Do you know how to get your products paid for? That is U+2, them +2. How many hours did you devote to personal development? Paul and I always do the 50-minute block, and we get up at 5 a.m. We haven't got up at 5 a.m. past couple days. We've been kind of sleepy, but the 5 a.m. club is amazing because you can take the first 20 minutes and utilize that to read a book. Paul and I are reading 30 books in 30 days, and we're doing power reading or photo reading. If you've never implemented that, that's pretty powerful, and you can get massive amounts of information over the next 30 days doing photo reading.
Here's my new one. The One Thing.
Ooh, I want to read that after.
So, great book. Keeps you focused on the one thing.
The one thing?
Just read the title. You get the point. Book done.
How many people did you share the Healthy Mind and Body program? You can easily share this in your product page as well as your prospects. You know, with our products, you get an amazing physical transformation, but with the new Healthy Mind and Body Spirit program, the Healthy Mind and Body program, it's also a spiritual development and an emotional development program as well. It's a mind, body, spirit program, I think. So that would be perfect for somebody to take their life to another level. So teach about that program. And if you're not on the program, make sure you get on it too. So these are things you can really look forward to in week 2. How many people did you sign up for the Isa Body Challenge? How many people on your team signed up for the Isa Body Challenge? Our team is exploding. We have so many people just signed up for the Isa Body Challenge, and I'm keeping a track of that. And of course, we're right in the middle of an ISA Derby, so if you've got an ISA Derby team, check in with them. But these are amazing action steps that you can easily take and look over for week 2. Keep it simple. Plus free product, that's a win. Yes, you talk about that in the product page. Talk about the free product and the amazing grand prize if they win the ISA Body Challenge. So you can't get people to share. They don't want to change their time. I have 100% product retention. Okay, so I'm not sure. Did you get what that means?
No, I don't know where.
Okay, so Paul and I talk about the 14-day talk. So stay with us on a few episodes. Maybe we'll talk about that on Tuesday or Wednesday. We'll go into the 14-day talk and how you can easily have your team share the gift of Isagenix or whatever gift that you're offering in your company. The 14-day talk is amazing, and it's a game changer. Okay.
So, yes, I think the issue is you have a lot of good customers, but they're having trouble moving them into business builders.
14-day talk will take care of that.
Yeah. So easy peasy, but we'll definitely go over that this next week.
Can you guys go over core wounds? I looked everywhere. You can't. It's
nobody recorded core wounds. I know that for sure. That was a minute ago.
And it's really hard to Google core wounds. Core wounds is really important. Do you guys mind if you have a few minutes and we'll talk about core wounds? I think it's a perfect day to talk about core wounds on Sunday. Core wounds is important. I think it's probably one of the most important things that we all can do as human beings in order to progress as spiritual human beings. This is where most of you will fall short. And this is why most of you can't excel in any part of your life. It is because of these core wounds. And once I tell you what they are, and once you can start to clear them and heal them, your life will explode. in all areas. You will find abundance come to you so much more easily, prosperity, your business, just your life in general will become so much more easier. These core wounds, and Paul and I are not psychologists, we're not spiritual gurus at all. This is just something that I've learned over the years to do and to heal, and my life just blossomed. I had a spiritual breakdown about 3 or 4 years ago. Even though I was excelling as a medical student, I still felt unworthy as a student. I was failing. I actually failed a surgical PA program, one of the top physician assistant programs in the nation, and I failed it. I'm talking when I failed. They kicked me out of the program, and I hit my lowest. That was my career. And so I had to do some serious spiritual work on myself because I felt like I wasn't worthy enough. I looked good on the outside, but I didn't feel like I looked good on the outside, nor did I feel like I felt loved on the inside. And it was very painful because I felt so rejected. And so the core wounds goes back to why. Why was I feeling like that, and when did it start? Because it didn't start with me failing the PA program. It started from childhood, or being rejected from a boyfriend, or rejected from my parents, or rejected from my older brothers. It's self-rejection. It is feeling unworthy of yourself for moving forward, or you don't have any self-love, or you feel like you're not being worthy enough to be loved. It is deep core wounds that we have, this internal junk that we have that we hold within our heart, and what I call the heart space is totally blocked. I call it the heart chakra, but there's this heart space right here that if you can't open this up, your life will be blocked in all areas. So, Jill Bowman always talks about inviting the easy in and coming from a place of love and learning to bless and release. And if we have certain relationships and certain things within our life, and you know what they are, I don't know what they are for you, and I can't name them for you, but if you'll spend some time today on this beautiful Sunday and really get real with yourself and get just a marble notebook or some type of notebook and start writing down why you feel like where is it in your life that you're blocked? And you got to go back deep. Were you sexually abused? Were you physically abused? Do you hold some of these things back that's holding you from progressing forward? You only know what they are, and it's going to be really painful to get down in these deep core wounds to release them. But get them out on a piece of paper and start forgiving not only other people that have hurt you, but start forgiving yourself. That's number one, is self-forgiveness. That was something that I couldn't do. It's the self-love that was really hard for me. And if I couldn't even love myself, how was anybody else going to love me back? So I had to get real with myself. A lot of these things was really painful for me. So I had to get through that, and that was a lot of my own self-development that I had to learn. So when Paul and I talk about self-development, and you're reading all these amazing books, success journey books are amazing, but I really want you to pick a beautiful spiritual kind of book as well, so you can, or a self-development, or what do they call them, self-healing kind of books, self-help books, and really get down to why you can't love people, why you can't open your heart with people. And it blocks you from all areas of your life. So when we talk about these core wounds, only you'll know what they are. Write them on a piece of paper. Get them out. Learn to forgive that person. Learn to forgive yourself. And Paul and I say, just have a bonfire. Write it all out and then burn that piece of paper. Some of you have conflict within your own team. Why? Why do you have conflict within your own team? Because we're dealing with a lot of the ego. And Paul and I want you to start going back to the heart space. Energy first, technique second. But if you can't get your energy in alignment, you're depressed or you're angry or you're easily offended, all these things, that's core wound stuff. So,
guys, there's a reason that I'd read a success book and I feel so good, and then I go back to hating myself. And then there's reasons that I was trying to figure out how to connect with people, and I never could. These are because of the way that I was thinking about myself. These are, like she said, from childhood, rejection, self-worth issues, self-esteem issues. It could be anything, like a comment from a teacher. I mean, these things stick with people for their entire life. And if you don't get it out, in this case on paper, and then burn it and forgive the situation. We're not taking away from the fact that these things happen. We're just letting the pain go. We're letting it go that, you know what, this is not going to hold me back anymore. This is not going to be something that blocks me. I'm going to go ahead and acknowledge what happened. I'm going to forgive the situation. I'm not going to blame myself anymore. And I'm going to let it go. I'm going to burn it. It's literally going to be gone in a ball of fire. And then I'm going to move on in a new space.
We want you to just to let go of nothing that no longer serves you anymore. You know, we are God's children, and we need to know who we are. We need to know that we are being loved, and we are divine human beings, and we are worthy of success, that we are worthy of abundance, and we need to shift our mind that abundance is given to us and it's for us, and there's so much abundance out there, but many of you still have this limited idea that there's not enough for me. So anyway, that's kind of what core wounds is. We want you to get it out and heal that aspect of yourself because it's important. And many of you will find that you can't move in this business, or you can't move in your life or relationships, and it's because you've got to heal the internal junk so you can open yourself up and breathe. And
you'll feel like a weight has been lifted off your shoulders.
It's very liberating. It's very liberating. So anyway, we'll leave with that. So take some time today to do some self-assessment checks, not only within your business, within yourself, so you can grow as a human being, and find that special self-help book or spiritual book, or go back to the Bible if that's what you're comfortable with, and just go back to knowing that you are a God's child, that you are worthy of all the abundance of this world. Okay? Good. Healing starts today. Perfect.
Yes.
It needs to be done.
So let's be sure to not only do that, let's close out the week on a powerful note. Look at your team, look at yourself. Let's see where we can improve and become better this week, and focus on the freedom that this business can offer. And let's do something about to get closer to our goals.
Perfect. We love you. We love each and every one of you. Thank you for supporting us. And as always, we want nothing more than to add value to your life. We want to see you succeed. That's why we give you all of these amazing tips and tricks. And again, we want nothing more than for you to live the most extraordinary life.
Always free from both physical and financial pain.
So join us on this mission.
Because it's a stone cold fact.
We do. We've got a better way. Let's go tell the world. Happy Sunday. We love you guys.